Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again. Thanks for stopping by, and just remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, feel free to take a look at some of my other ARMA 3 videos if you like. You can find them all in a playlist in the description down below. But anyway, today I want to give you guys a first look at a project that I've been working on in ARMA 3 for the past few weeks. And that's because the brand new Eden 3D editor came out recently for everyone, so it's now a lot easier if you want to make your own missions. The cool thing about ARMA 3 is that if you've got an idea of how you want to play the game, if you spend enough time you can probably make that happen. And the new 3D editor makes it easy enough for anyone, so if you haven't already, there's never been a better time to give mission building a try. For me though, all I've ever really wanted since I first started playing ARMA was some kind of Battlefield 4 style Conquest game mode. And that's not because I don't enjoy what ARMA 3 already has to offer, I just thought it would be nice for a change. So to start with, I had a good look around for these sort of scenarios online, and sure enough they do exist, but the problem is, no one actually plays them. Which was a bit of a letdown because that meant I'd probably never get the same sort of experience as I'd expect to find in a game like BF4. Now, that got me thinking because one big advantage ARMA 3 has over BF4 is that it's got a pretty solid AI system. It can also be scripted to do pretty much anything you want, which means you can pretty much create your own AI teammates. The other cool thing is that you can go even further than this and create new features that don't exist in other games. And most importantly, you can balance the game however you like, assuming of course you've got a bit of scripting knowledge. Speaking of scripting knowledge, well, apart from programming Arduinos, I pretty much had no idea what I was doing when I started this project. So the biggest hurdle I had to get over was that I literally had to learn how to script in ARMA 3 from scratch. The whole learning process probably took at least 150 hours, but with that being said, I've got to say it wasn't that boring. Scripting is basically like solving puzzles, so if you like a challenge, you'll probably get a kick out of it too, and you'll pick up the basics pretty quickly. Now, as for my project, well, like I said before, I was aiming to recreate the Battlefield 4 style Conquest game mode. So as you can see here, I've got two opposing teams located at either end of the map, and there's 4 objectives that they have to battle over in the middle. Capturing objectives is handled by these sector modules here, which all sync into the main sector control module up here. And under that is a bleed tickets module which kicks in when one team holds a majority of the objectives, or when players respawn. None of these things are really that special though, because all of these modules so far are already built into the editor. The real challenge actually started when I realised I had to script a respawn system from scratch, because unlike in BF4, ARMA 3 doesn't create a spawn on friendly sectors. The other issue was that non-playable AI can't respawn, so I also had to script a system to spawn new squads and vehicles when the old ones got killed. But all in all, after many hours, I did manage to get both of these things to work, and as you'll see, I even managed to put my own spin on how the AI spawns. Now, as you can see here, if a human player dies, they have the option to respawn after a predetermined amount of time, at base or at any friendly sector. I basically wanted this to be nice and snappy like it is in BF4 because I didn't want to add any extra waiting time for the human players. As you'll see with the AI infantry though, they actually get dropped off in a transport heli, which automatically lands at the furthest friendly objective. And as you can also see, they spawn as a whole squad, which means there's always coordinated squads running around rather than just individual stragglers. As for vehicles, well, there's a whole range of light vehicles for players to use at base and around the map, which all respawn if they're destroyed. As for the heavy vehicles in the aircraft though, well at the moment they're all controlled by the AI, but eventually I'd like to give human players the option to control them as well. At the moment, each team has a tank, an AA, an attack heli and an attack jet, but I'm also looking at including an APC with an infantry squad on board. And also another thing I'd like to add in for something different is an option for players to disable any of these vehicles, or add in any more vehicles if they prefer. Now, so far you've seen how all the units spawn, but if you know anything about ARMA 3, you know that spawning a unit doesn't necessarily automatically make them move. They do have a certain amount of intelligence and they will fight nearby threats, but getting them to move around and cap objectives was another thing I had to script. I thought about handling movement with the inbuilt spawn AI modules, or with another system called Alive, but at the end of the day nothing was really working, so instead I just put in the hard yards and wrote my own script, and now I can basically make it work with any unit, and I can also tweak it however I like. The way the movement system works is by making every AI unit check for and then move to the nearest friendly objective every 10 seconds. And this, combined with the vehicles and helicopter insertion to spread squads out, means that the AI will often be running around attacking different objectives. So although in a lot of cases you can end up with a linear style standoff in the middle, every now and then a vehicle will flank around and cap an objective from behind. And this leads to every game being a different experience, and I can imagine there would be even more variation if you had more objectives. Now, to finish up, so far I've just built this scenario for one player on each side, and only currently for the Shadowplay map, but it's essentially a framework that can be adapted for pretty much anything. So ultimately I'd like to see this mode working on all the maps, and with a bit more testing I'm hoping to also make it stable for more human players as well. The problem I've got with adding more human players at the moment is scaling down the amount of spawned AI as people join to keep the game balanced. But I'm pretty confident that I will be able to get it to work pretty soon, so in the near future, you may even be able to try this one out with a bunch of friends. And speaking of trying this out, well, if you want to play this mission for yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the Steam workshop down below. The only mods you'll need if you want to get it to work is the CUP terrain mods, which most people have already, and eventually I'll also be making it compatible with RHS as well. So please give it a good go, let me know what you like and what you don't like, and feel free to suggest any tweaks or new features you think it needs, because it's physically impossible for me to play it long enough to find every bug and glitch, so any help you guys can give me is much appreciated. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the description below, and if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you want to support my channel on Patreon. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.